folks, how you doing? And welcome to our channel. So we're going to have a look at the next development in this thing with the charity Sentebale today, which is the 3rd of April. I think let's take that off. Um, there's been a new announcement. So Watchdog opens case into concerns raised at charity set up by Prince Harry. So yes, today's the 3rd of April at the time of filming. Let's have a look at the energy around this. One of the things I felt while setting up was that Dr. Sophie is actually also opening herself a can of worms here. And once she's opened this can of worms, it's going to be hard to be able to put them all back in again. Um, and that there's going to be more stuff comes out, not just in relation to Prince Harry, but in towards others. And I feel as well that Dr. Sophie herself will struggle to be able to put this behind her for some time. Um, so let's have a look at the energy of today's announcement, the Watchdog and Sentebale. Okay, we've got the Page of Pentacles, Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I'll read in a minute. The Strength card, the Emperor. Ooh, interesting. That was interesting. I had that card in my hand and it came out like that. I felt like an energy come in and turn it into upside down. Again, that in my readings, the King of Wands represents Harry. Harry's lifetime as Henry VIII. Okay. I've said in my last reading there's a really tricky past life energy between these two, of which she hasn't been able to let go of, about what he did in that last lifetime as Henry, well, not his last lifetime, was in his lifetime as Henry VIII. She can't let go of it. She's still struggling to let go of it. Um, Maybe subconsciously in that lifetime made a vow, like we all do. I said, I'll get my own back for this and all. This is why you've got to be careful what you say to people, because you can find yourself entangled with them in other incarnations. She really wants to take him from his perch. She doesn't like him. There's issues here. I'm feeling there's serious issues here. Um, King of Cups, Illusion, the High Priestess, the Magician, Hierophant, King of Pentacles. I don't think Charles can intervene with this, or somebody on behalf of Charles can intervene with this, but let me just keep pulling. Three of Cups, Two of Swords, not being able to move forward. The Empress. Okay, yeah, this was set up as a nod and in memory to Diana, Princess of Wales. It starts off, yeah, the grid starts off as Page of Pentacles here. So this is the young prince going to set up something for his mother. But I think as well for him, Sentebale has run its course. Interesting. I'm also being shown that he's realizing that he doesn't need to set up a charity to honour his mother. He doesn't need to do that. And this is waking him up to that. It also almost feels as though he's lost the grip with this charity anyway. It wasn't what he originally set up. Um, there's a group of people here that are coming in for the kill with this three of swords. That's heartbreak. Three of cups energy. That have had their heads together in relation to bringing this about. I'm going to be honest with you. When somebody comes into something and and there's past life energy that's not been dealt with properly, it can be. You may have valid concerns about someone, but if your energy isn't right, what can happen is it starts to look like a vendetta. And it feels as though she's so anti-Harry and so oomph with Harry that it's going to look like a vendetta. And that could be her downfall. Um, because she's appearing to some people as imbalanced. There's been a couple of interviews I've seen of her, and they've asked her questions, and she's kind of not been able to answer them. So it's not as clear as we think. There's issues here with both of them. How does Harry feel about this? We keep asking the cards. Oh, have I put them in the wrong way? How does Harry feel about this? How does Harry feel about this? Illusion, Seven of Swords, trickery, deceit at the bottom. There's a lot. He keeps getting this type of energy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to take in. He's feeling overwhelmed with it all. It feels as though it's too much for him. Eight of Wands, he just wants it over with. But he was going to fight it. He's a fighter. He doesn't step away from that old heritage of his. Queen of Cups, Queen of Hearts here. Can you remember when Charles was getting, listen, abdicated then? Charles was getting crowned, and I said that one of the things that Harry had to face in his lifetime as Harry was and to sit there and watch his dad having another woman crowned in the place of his mother was karmic payback for that lifetime where his children, Henry's children, had to witness the same thing. You woke up the Lady Mary, you woke up Princess Mary, you went to bed that night, the Lady Mary, at the click of a switch, okay? Um, it's all about healing that. That's why his infatuation, love, trauma, wounding with Diana is so strong. It's because it brings back all of that lifetime, going from one woman to another, one queen to another, getting rid of your own wife, where his mother was, you know, in a car accident and having to go through that pain to bring balance. This current lifetime with him is about bringing balance. The burden, but it's too much. It hurts. It's too much to carry anymore. I actually felt yesterday when I was tuning into it that this is a really tricky time for Harry mentally, and it's actually a shame that he's separated from so many people because he actually needs people around him right now. He's in a vulnerable state. Um, yeah, we're talking about coronations. We've got coronations here. We've got the Four of Wands. We've got Megan and celebrating her job, her career, her new venture. There's all that, but under the surface, there's this deep sadness with Harry, and he feels as though he's getting left behind. But I'm also being shown that William feels like he's getting left behind as well. We've got the ancestors card. Um, they're both as stubborn as each other at times, William and Harry. There's some deep thinking needed to be done. Help and guidance from family. High Priestess, intuition, but also illusion. King of Wands coming in. He always gets it. Every spread we do. The loss, the pain at that, having to clear it, having to make sense of his current incarnation, looking after his own emotions, emotional alignment. Um, Queen of Swords, cutting ties. A lot of people are in this situation, not just princes and kings and stuff, where they've literally been given an incarnation to get it cleared, get it all cleared. And people can look at that and go, well, it looks like it's getting worse, and it gets worse before it gets better. It gets worse before it gets better. So let's look at the outcome for Dr. Sophie. Ooh, interesting. That card flew out like that. It's almost like something stops her in her tracks. Outcome for Dr. Sophie. Outcome from this for Dr. Sophie. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. There's some deceit here. Um, because if things start getting investigated at a deeper level, this is because she, if there is further investigations here, she's also got to be careful what she manifests here. Because again, you can start ending up on a real karmic cycle with someone. The Empress, manifestation, manifestation. She's got to be so careful what she creates here. We're in the age of energy now, and you've got to be careful what you put out in the world. There could have been a better way at dealing with this. Ace of Pentacles. She creates something here that she can't control. Could be the backlash from the squad. I'm not saying that's right, but it's already happening, which is overwhelming. It's almost like when she deletes one tweet, another one crops up. Um, King of Cups, Knight of Cups, the Wish. Oops. Queen of Pentacles, the Past, Ace of Cups, Three of Cups. I'll read them in a minute. The Chariot, and Betrayed. So, long term for her, she will feel the repercussions of this. I'm being shown the fact that a lot of what she has to say is valid, but evidence-wise, it's going to be harder to prove. Um, when in actual fact, she's struggling to stand and step into her heart. Let's look at the outcome for Harry. Outcome for Harry. Son, joy, judgment. So it's gonna come up. Anything that he's done, said is gonna come up. It's exposure. The wish, dreamy. The hanged man, feeling persecuted. Again, a lot of his past is going to be brought up against him, but he's victorious. He's victorious. Anxiety, mental health, King of Cups, the Wish. They're getting very similar cards as well. The Chariot, moving forward from it. The Past, Ace of Cups. There's a similar. They're triggered by each other. They're triggered by each other because there's a similarity here. Three of Cups, betrayal, fighting back, King of Swords, Boundaries, Wheel of Fortune. I feel as well he could go and spend time, possibly in Africa, or somewhere else to regroup, to make sense of his situation. Yeah, he retreats. Either when it's done or whatever, he goes on a pilgrimage. You know what I mean? You don't have to go away to, I don't know, Mount whatever to go on a pilgrimage. You can book yourself into a Premier Inn and just think to decompress about what he actually wants going forward, where he wants to be. It's a real time of deep thinking, possibly the only time in his life that he goes to another level of deep thinking, thinking about his heritage, his soul heritage, his family heritage, and the shocks and the clearing from that. There could also be something here about the king's health and what that comes up. There's the offer coming here, death and rebirth, the world in and of a cycle, and the king, king of pentacle, and letting go of the past. Letting go of the old stories. We're all having to do this. You know, yes, but yes, but yes, but yes, but back in 1999, I turned up to the house for a cup of tea and they didn't let me in. Yes, but yes, but yes, but if you're holding on to that energy, you're going to stay stuck. Anyone that's holding on to the old stories of, but they did this, they said that, look what they've done, is going to stay anchored and stuck until they've processed it. Um, there's an opportunity here if he wants in the future to move forward, but all the players have got to unstuck themselves from the old stories. Um, a lot of people I'm feeling are waiting with bated breath for Harry to be brought down, but it feels as though there's a potential here for this situation to bring home some home truths that he works on to try and make some changes so that these same old stories don't keep repeating. As he steps into his 40s and into his 50s, you know, there's a lot of evolving going on now on the planet. And it's going to be a time of deep thinking about actually what do I want? A lot of people are getting this burden energy with what they're carrying, the old stories, the baggage, holding on and holding on and holding on and needing to let go. Rest and retreat, recuperation. The star card, healing, temperance and patience. I genuinely feel Queen of Pentacles, receiving something. The Empress, healing the mother wound. Being able to manifest something better for himself. Ace of Pentacles, the coin. You know, being able to move forward and beyond it. Offering apologies as well. You know, stepping out of victim mentality, realizing he doesn't have to be that. Self-confidence and self-worth. Not thinking himself as a spare. That realizing that he brings more to the table than being a spare. And that's his prerogative. That's his. I feel as though if he wants, and if the other people being the royal family, predominantly William and his father, well, their father, obviously. That was weird. Don't you start up with that James Hewitt? No, I don't think for 1 minute James Hewitt's his dad. And don't start putting any conspiracies in that comment section neither, because that's not fair to Diana. You can see that he's got the Duke of Edinburgh in him and King Charles. Um, if they can all meet on the same higher timeline, there's a possibility that a future can be made where a truce can be drawn. And wouldn't that be great? And actually, if you idolize any of them, anyone that's healthy would want that for anyone. Healing, connection, being able to move forward and go forward as healthy, you know, human beings that are balanced and set in heart consciousness. There's a potential for that if they want that. He's got to work through his stuff. He's got to keep working through his stuff as we all are. On a higher level, this is something that Dr. Sophie is bringing into him. But yeah, it's interesting. To be continued, I'm sure. Thank you for watching. Remember, there's a playlist on here called CT's Royal Tarot. This is a channel that has a lot of content on it from different areas. Don't let that put you off subscribing. Keep checking the playlist of CT's Roll Tarot. Thanks for watching. Love to all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.